So everybody sees the highlight reels, the venue glam, the vendor connections, the elaborate, luxurious world that we live in. But what people don't understand is what it takes to get to this point.
Yeah.
And we're both very familiar. Sierra's been in this industry for quite some time. I have been in this industry for quite some time, and it's not easy. And the funny thing about this is that it's uncomfortable. Like, and even still to this day, I'll be in certain rooms where I'm better than 90% of the people in there, but get treated like the black sheep. Like, you know, where I'm like, hey guys, like this is craziness. So today we're just going to be pulling back the curtain on what it really takes to get a foot into the door. Because it's really all you need. That's what I've said my whole life is like, I just need a cracked door. Yeah. Like crack it a hairline and I'll push that motherfucker.
We're going to bust right in, let me tell you.
But just that's what we both did. A crack in there.
Yeah.
So you guys have heard a lot of my stories on previous episodes on being a business owner. I've never really tailored it too much to being a business owner in the wedding industry, which is quite a unique kind of thing. But this goes for people that are working in the industry and owning businesses in here because it's no easy task. And for the most part, this industry is comprised of a lot of really small businesses that don't hire. Yep. So it's like trying to find something is really tricky. So with all of that said, welcome back to the aisle. I am Trista, and today I'm sitting down with Sierra from my team, and we're going to talk about our own individual journeys on getting into the event and wedding industry. We're going to talk about how we started, what it's like to find your footing, how do you build credibility, and how do you really claim like your seat at the table. I still truly don't think I've done that all through and through. I have a seat on my own table though.
We make our own table. Which is good. You know what? If you can't get a seat at the table, make your own. And also, if you're the smartest person in the room, go into a new room. Yeah, and that's just where we've been.
That's just where we've been. But in this industry, it's not just about talent. It's about timing. It's about connections. It's about relationships, and really truly being in the right place at the right time. Yeah. And thick skin. I feel like.
Yeah. You definitely have to have thick skin and like a lot of. Whether it's real or fake confidence in yourself and what you're doing.
You have to make sure that you have that. Yeah. So before we get into all the meat of this podcast, we're going to do a little bit of real life updates. For me, I talked a little bit about this on the last episode. I did go under the knife for a little surgical procedure. I'm still in recovery right now. Going into this, I was under the impression that this was a couple of days of recovery, and it's been kind of a little bit more than that.
Homegirl thought she was back to work the next day.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be back to work, and then now it's been, a few days, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm still dizzy, this is crazy, but, just giving myself grace.
Yeah, so bear with us today.
Bear with us. I've been working from home. My grandma's in town. She's been kind of helping with the kiddos as much as she can, but my kids are really wild, and so I don't know, bless her little soul, she's like, you guys now quiet down. Arya's like, what'd you say? So yeah, that's how that's been going. Sierra, tell us a little bit about your life updates.
I feel like I always come on here and I don't have much life updates, so maybe I really need to start doing some things in my life, but
I think you're just private.
I'm just, I don't really have too much going on. I feel like I'm working, hanging out with my friend, hanging out with my man. Yeah. Just, living my best life.
Good. Very good. Starting the new year off with
nothing going on.
Whammy.
Yeah. Starting the new year off with a whammy. I do have my family coming in town in February, which I'm really excited
That's good, because we were just talking about that they don't come out to see you as much.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how that's going to go.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So when I actually first moved here, my stepmom used to work here like every other week she was here. So that was really nice when I first came. And then she left that job. So she no longer does that, which is really unfortunate. But they used to come, when I first moved here and she did work here, they used to come for like a week at a time because my I say stepmom twice, but my other stepmom, who's married to my stepmom, very confusing family dynamic that we can get into later, folks. She is a PE teacher, so she takes like breaks and stuff here, so they get to come out for like weeks at a time, which is what they're kind of going to come out for this time. Is one of them works from home, so they'll come out for like a week, and I love it because they get their own place, so I get to see them after work and have that separation, but that'll be a lot of fun. And we're going to go to Sedona at some point. And then she takes care of my dog too, which is great. So he's not home alone.
Where is, with like restaurant, what's one place you're like, I know I have to take them to?
My stepmom loves Italian food, and she never really lets herself eat it, so I'll probably take her to North Italia because that's my favorite. I was also going to take them to Elefante. I need them to get that whipped dip, for sure.
So good.
I'm going to make them go everywhere because they'll pay for it, so we'll probably also hit up the nice little catch moments. All my favorites. Hit all the stops.
That'll be really good.
Yeah.
Cool. And so that's kind of what's been going on with us. BTS in general, again, last episode I touched on a little bit about like paying attention to my numbers and understanding what's going out versus what's coming in. We've gotten the team to a good place. We've scaled down a bit, but not in a sense to where we're in trouble. It's like in a sense where it's like, okay, this actually makes sense for the number of weddings that we have. So right now we're just kind of like reconfiguring structure a little bit in the office, but it's been really nice. Like the vibes are just comfortable. So I'm excited about that for sure. We have some social events going on, a couple baby showers, and we still have a little bit of time before we jump back into our first wedding, which is in February. But all good stuff there. Cool. So let's get into how do you get into this industry? So let's start off. First off, Sarah, what was the draw for you? Like what pulled you into Wedding World? What was this is where I want to be?
So I've worked in like restaurants and hospitality since I was 15. I was very much forced into it by my stepmom at the time. But I have always loved that dynamic. Like when I was very young, I begged my stepmom to get me like a serving tray.
Yeah.
And I would like serve them dinner. I don't know what it is about it. I just like love catering to people maybe. I don't really know. But so when I was going to college, I was thinking like, what do I want to do? Like I had no idea what I was even going to college for, like what was next for me. I think, 17, 18 is a crazy age to decide what you're going to do for the rest of your life. Yeah. And I was just very focused on going to school in New York. So I just was like, what do I want to do? Maybe I'd be a wedding planner one day. That could be cool. But like, I don't really know how you do that. And like, whatever, I'm just going to school in New York and I'll figure it out in 4 years, like whatever. And then I got to New York and everybody has internships at NYU. So my second semester, I was like,
I guess I'm supposed to get one of these.
I'm supposed to do this maybe. And my friend got a PR internship and was like, you should just come do my internship. And when I went there, I did it for a while and I found it awfully boring. If you're in PR, I'm so sorry. It's terrible. But the part that I did love about it was the events that you got to throw. And I was like, oh, this could be fun, whatever. But again, just wasn't really that focused on it. And then I was in my senior year and I was like, so I've done PR for 4 years. Hate it. What the hell am I doing? Like, what am I going to do now? I love working in restaurants. I could go back to restaurants. Nothing wrong with it, but my grandpa would absolutely kill me if I just wasted all of his money and then immediately went back to a restaurant. I don't think I would ever hear the end of that. So let me figure out like what's close. And I was just thinking and I was like, well, I thought about being a wedding planner at one point. Like maybe I'll try it again. Or maybe I'll like think about it again. And then I was like, well, I have no idea how to even start. Like how do I do that? Where do I go? Like that job's not like on LinkedIn. Like what do I...
Except for when we're posting.
And I actually did find my first wedding job on LinkedIn. So they are, maybe low. But like, you don't even know what roles you could have if you've never been in the industry. So I literally just was like, I don't know how I'm going to make this work, but I'm going to just figure it out. And then, I decided I want to be in the wedding industry. And then I don't know if I'm going to get into right now exactly what happened after that. But the rest is history.
That's really good. So before you were in the industry, what did you think being a wedding planner was going to be?
So the reason that I originally said I didn't want to be a wedding planner was I said, I don't think I want to do bridezillas. And I was like over it. So that was really, I think, kind of all I had in my head about weddings. I knew I loved them and they were super fun. I maybe even did 2 in my life at that point when I was like 4 years old. But at first I was thinking, oh God, very high stress. Everyone, I'm sure the brides are just pissed. Like I used to watch Bridezillas on TLC or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm sure just like terrible, awful. Yeah. And then I thought about it again. I was like, well, it could be fun, and I'll just like ignore the craziness. But I didn't think it would be so involved. Like I didn't. You just don't know what goes into
Yeah.
planning a wedding until
Yeah.
you start doing it. So I just thought it'd be cute and fun, and I get the girl down the aisle, and they have a party, and here we go.
that's it.
Yeah. And I'm just, what do you need, girl? I'm here for you.
That'd be
and
great.
spoiler alert, that's not what it is.
No, not at all. Not at all. And interestingly enough, I never thought about being a wedding planner.
Yeah.
Not even when I started BTS. I
Which
didn't
is
think
so
about
crazy.
being a wedding planner. I, like Sierra, had to get an internship. And started in there. And if you guys know anything about nonprofit organizations, a lot of times there's not enough hands.
Yeah.
And so as an intern, I became a
You do
very overworked, unpaid employee. And I was in charge of some pretty big events. And it was like, just kind of figure it out. And I was like, hey, I'm actually kind of good at this. Like,
Yeah.
what the heck? Okay, great. Like, hey, I actually know space and like visualization. I didn't even know that I knew things like that. And so I just kind of went with it. And I was like, this is great. Then I graduated from college. At the time I was married. My ex-husband's job moved us from Tucson to Phoenix. He was like doing I think he was doing solar panel installation. It was like when that like first kind of took off. And we lived in Phoenix, and everybody was like pressuring me like, so what are you going to do for work? What are you going to do for work? And I was like, fuck, bro. Like,
It's the hardest question.
I don't know. Like, work at a coffee house. I don't know. And so because I got pressured so much about what I was going to do, I was like, I'm going to start a business. That'll
Classic
give me,
Trista.
That'll give me enough time to tell everybody to shut up because I don't know what I'm going to do. So it was like between making cake pops or being a wedding planner or being an event planner, actually, because I didn't really know much about weddings. And I was like, okay, cake pops. So how many cake pops do I have to make to be a millionaire? Did the math. I was like, fuck, I'm going to be at this for a long time. Because it turns out cake pops are not that expensive. And it takes a long time to get to $1 million on cake pops. And me and my oldest daughter, Mia, we made a batch. And I was like, first off, I'm not a baker. I love to cook. I'm not a baker. So we're in there. It's a multi-step process. We're like, making the cake, breaking it up, putting frosting, making it in balls, freezing it. I don't know, everything. I was like, bro, all of this and they're going to sell for like $3?
Yeah.
Like, no, absolutely not. I want to be a millionaire. So I was like, okay, cool. Events it is. So did a lot of like research in the industry or in the area.
Cake pop to events is a crazy pipeline.
I was going to make hair bows too. I was like on Etsy. I was like, this is so tedious. Like, everybody that works with me knows that I am not a tedious person. Like,
No.
I will finish one bow and be like, job's done, can't do it.
She's
But
like, that's great.
I can't do mundane like things over and over, like which you would have to do it again to make hair bows and be a millionaire. Okay, so I started BTS event management. I was researching all these like event management companies locally. There wasn't a lot of them. I didn't even know what a DMC was. Silly me, because that's where the events were going, were to DMCs. But I did come across a lot of wedding planners, and it was always like Love by Lace, like all these like fancy romantic kind of names,
Yeah.
or like Dazzly with Ashley or whatever. I don't even know who the people are, but like I was like, definitely not. That's why BTS has such a gender neutral name. It's like BTS Event Management. Weirdly enough, we become the top wedding planner in Phoenix, but whatever. During this time, I am like really focused on the branding aspect of it. I love marketing and branding, and like I'm just a sucker for it. Why I didn't decide to do anything in branding or marketing or advertising, I don't know. But according to Sierra, it's boring as hell, so good thing.
Boring as hell.
Good thing I didn't.
I don't care if your socks are in a magazine or not. Like, so respectfully.
But I was like really into like the fonts and how this was going to be portrayed to people and what everything was going to look like. Social media wasn't a thing back then. We're talking like 15, 16 years ago. And maybe Facebook was popular, but like you weren't getting shit off Facebook. That was like for college kids. It wasn't for like networking like how it is, you know? Pinterest had just veered its pretty little head into the world. Like that's how long ago this is. And I had only had corporate experience and then some like personal events, like some random people that were like, hey, I heard you do events. Can you do this birthday party? And I was like, sure, of course. And then weirdly enough, it just took a turn and people were like, can you do my wedding? And I was like, yeah.
Which,
absolutely.
I mean, I love that. Those people are crazy.
Crazy.
So respectful. I mean, you obviously you're amazing,
Crazy.
but I don't. That's
but
a
I
crazy
wasn't.
choice at the time to be like, you've never planned a wedding before. Would you like to plan one?
But I would just lie.
And I love that.
Girlfriend, I was just lying.
That confidence.
Have you done weddings? Yeah, for years.
For sure.
Hundreds.
Duh.
Hundreds of them. I remember my first client that booked me. The mom of the bride, I'll never forget, her name was Francesca. Mother of the bride, I don't remember her name, but I talked to her all the time. And she was like, hey, love, do you have a schedule for the day? I think we're, supposed to have a schedule. And like in my head, I was like, yeah, I guess that probably is something I'm supposed to make. Schedule. Wait, let me figure out how to make a schedule. I was like, yeah, have it to you in 2 days. And like did some research, made a dynamite schedule. By the way, our schedules are dope as hell.
Our schedules
Still. There's other planners that use our templates. Still, we've caught a couple of them. We're like,
I've seen it. I worked at a venue. I saw it.
Cute. Okay, you got that from us, which I love because you owe your clients a great schedule, and ours is really formatted amazingly. So
you have to use your resources in the industry.
Exactly. But yeah, that was the start of it, and from there, I ended up doing a birthday party at the Phoenician, and there was a gentleman there named Greg who did all of the events, and he was like, hey, I'm taking over all the weddings. I really like working with you. Would you be my preferred wedding planner? And I was like, Greg. Yeah, I'm just because I do weddings all the time. And so the Phoenician at the time, this was before it was a Marriott property. It was like an old money, like you went there and you just felt rich. Like it was such a vibe. And so I got big weddings, like right off the gate. I got big weddings, and I just faked it till I made it. I did a great job.
That's my biggest tip in this industry. I feel like it's like make a queen.
Make a connection. You got to make a connection, and like those connections are going to get you in the doors that you need to be in.
Yep.
So it's important that you have integrity and that you're a good person deep down inside, and that people can trust you. Because if you're going to tell somebody you could do something, you better be able to know how to do it. And that's just the only thing in the world. I don't really check resumes or what people's experience is, but like you better come through with what you said, because I always did,
Well, and so we say a lot, like I can teach you everything that there is to know about a wedding. I can't really teach you to like be able to figure things out, stick to your word, have common sense.
I can't teach that.
Yeah. Because we'll always figure it out.
Yeah. So that was my little segue into this world. It was just by pure trustful accident and right place at the right time. And that's really what it is. So
now you built an empire.
Now we built an empire. It's amazing. So what was your kind of first experience in this industry? So you knew what you were going to do. You started to break in, and then how did that go?
Yeah, so when I very first was figuring out how to get in, I was like emailing wedding planners that I Google search like wedding planners in my area. I also am from like a very small town in California, a very small beach town, and I went back there after school. So when I was looking, it's like there's not that much in my area anyways in this industry. And then I went on LinkedIn and I found a role that was at the time from a smaller family-owned business. They're now a very large business in the wedding industry, but at the time it was a very small family-owned business. And they had a role that was like it's a coordinator, captain, sales admin role. And I was like, oh, this seems great because I've worked in restaurants.
This is my in.
Be a banquet captain. I can definitely do like sales admin stuff. Like that's not hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I applied there. If you guys are watching this, I waited 45 minutes in the parking lot before my interview because they forgot about me. Luckily I did not leave. I got the job, and the job was like, not gonna lie, like the grit. Like I was flipping, it was at a venue, so at the end of the night at 2 a.m. I was flipping the room with my staff. Like me and my servers, I literally, okay guys, push the dance floor over, like everybody roll up the tables, bring the chairs in, like we were doing everything. I was cleaning the bathrooms.
That's a key part of this industry. Yes. You are doing everything.
And if you're not down to do everything,
it's not for you.
It's not for you. So I very much credit that job and that company for really making me like, I will do anything and everything. I've been the dishwasher. I've been the chef. I've been the setup person. Like the officiant, the DJ.
Yes. You name it. Put me in, coach.
Put me in, coach. I've got it. We'll figure it out. Yes. So that role at first, I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is not what I expected for weddings. But because I was just open to like doing whatever needed to get done for the wedding, and for my client, I was able to move up very quickly. So I was promoted to being like an actual wedding planner on their end. But like I sold the venue and planned the weddings there very quickly. I think it was probably like 3 months.
That's
and then
so good.
Worked
but it makes sense though, because this industry is not for everyone. I would say probably 1 in 10 people that start in this industry make it.
Yeah.
And it's very clear very early on who has this personality, skill set that can really make you adaptable to stay in it and to want to stay in it. Because let's keep it real. I can't even tell you how many people I've hired that have been like, actually, this is just not for me.
Yeah, not for me. Never mind.
The burnout comes hella quick, and they're just like deer in headlights, and you're like, I get it. When's your last day? Like, but let's go. You know, they're not bad people. They probably excel at a lot of other great jobs that I wouldn't know how to do. So it's not a better or worse thing. It's just a certain type of person. So it makes sense you were promoted very easily because they knew, she's got it. Yeah.
So that was great. Became the manager, and then just kept it going from there.
Yeah.
Just kept moving and grooving.
Yeah, that's really good. So tell me a little bit about being in the industry and starting to meet other people in the industry. So we've talked about the interest in being in here, getting the door cracked open, getting your foot in there, and then now you're around other people. So what is that like?
Yeah, so for me, the main like adjustment obviously was when I moved to Arizona to be in the wedding industry here. And it is such an interesting like space. I think where I was before, I didn't realize how I was already so enveloped in my like circle in my wedding industry in San Jose and in California. Just like naturally. Here it's so, I mean, I literally was like, oh whoa, I didn't even know that Arizona was such a huge like wedding industry location when I moved here. Yeah. So that was a very big like, oh, I had no idea that this was
same with me.
Thing. I just thought that I was going to work at a very beautiful resort who happened to do weddings. Like I didn't know there was like societies and stuff. Like that was like, oh, all brand new information to me. So it was definitely an interesting adjustment because I didn't even I was playing a game I didn't realize I was playing at all. So yeah, that was an interesting experience of like, you're all kind of like, I don't know, you're just brand new into the space, and I was like, I just think everyone's so nice, and I'm just like, and then I'm like learning more and more, and I'm like, oh, this is like a whole,
there's like a hierarchy, and it's cliquey, and like it's kind of Mean Girls Club-ish. It's interesting. And I've experienced that a lot and continue to. So in any industry, there's the it people, you know, there's the it crew, and I have never been in the it crew ever. I remember first starting out, and again, getting events at the Phoenician and getting huge events, being new into town, not knowing a lot of people. I was super outcasted, and then going to industry events with planners that had already been doing this for years and years. They were just like, who are you? And like, let me just preface, like, it sounds like they're a bunch of assholes, but like in reality, you are so tried and tested in this, and you really got to put your time in to first even know your job. Like, and then to be really good at your job. So when new people come in, you're just kind of like, let's see.
Well, because it's just all about trust. You don't know if somebody can do what they are saying that they can do until it happens. Until we're already in it, we're deep in it.
Yep.
So it's definitely a hard, like,
it is. So people definitely like, they're like, I don't really care about you kind of thing. And it's very clear. But I was always the girl that came in and wore big black sunglasses and all black in an industry where everybody was in like poofy floral skirts and like cardigans. And like now it's so funny because so many people have turned to more of like this sleek all black kind of look, which I love. It's amazing. But like, I'm not going to say it's not, I didn't set this trend at all. This is just how the trend has gone. But like, I was an outcast. I looked like a bitch.
They're like, these are girls going to a funeral.
Yes, exactly. In a time when it was like
That's so funny.
I
So
bought my
always get that
cardigan
comment.
on, you know, kind of thing. And let me tell you, those girls, they were gorgeous and they had it so well put together and they were all linked like this. And I was like, dang, I want to be in that crew. But like, I just don't wear floral patterns. It's not flattering on me. So like, I don't know if I can get in.
She's all, I don't know if I could be a wedding planner.
But it took a while and it still does. You know, now I can go in with the confidence in my head held high, knowing that we're producing the best weddings in Arizona. And not saying that other people aren't producing the best as well, because there are some really killer talented people here.
Sure.
But like,
there's a lot of talent.
I mean, we top the charts every time. So I can go in a little bit more like, no, y'all know who I am. It's okay. And I don't have to be, you know, in the floral skirt wearing club, but like I still have a seat here because I've done, you know, over 15 years of work here. So that's been kind of a good thing.
Yeah, I feel like when I first came into like people, it was a lot of like definitely until I like proved myself and I did some weddings with some planners, and I mean obviously we worked together at weddings at Sanctuary too. When I was there, like I am down to do anything for the wedding. I don't really care if it's not my role. Like, I'll do that. Like I'll go up and yeah, sure, I'm gonna hold the bride's dress. I'll fix her. I'll hold her bouquet. Like whatever. I was always down to do anything, and the more that I worked with people in the industry, the more that they were like, oh, we know Sierra, and Sierra's really great, and we love working at this venue because she's there, and she makes sure that we're okay. Yeah. So that definitely helped. You know, people started trusting me.
It helps, that trust factor.
And knowing, like, okay, yeah, she, like, actually knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I remember, speaking of having a seat at the table, you know, we do dance floor wraps. So we have the large format printer, and we do a lot of dance floor wraps. And I remember one time, Royal Palms, this resort here, super fancy resort, great place to work. They had a FAM. So all the top wedding planners were invited to the FAM. And I didn't know about it. I didn't get invited to it. But I did get an email request asking us to design and lay a dance floor for the FAM for all the wedding planners. But
y'all be crazy. Y'all be crazy. But guess what? We're going to lay it. And then you're going to talk about how good it looks. BTS about management.
Yep, exactly. And I remember CJ was like, well, do you want to even go? Like, you know, for the install? Because a lot of times I'll go with him and I'll get a lot of content of like the install process. And I was like, yeah, I want to go. And he's like, I just don't want you to feel uncomfortable. And I was like, me feel uncomfortable? I said, oh no. I said, my head is held high. I'm fine with this. Like, it's people who do weird shit and like that's okay. Which is why I never will, because I've been on the other side of it so much to where it's just, but yeah, so big wedding planner fam with all the wedding planners, most of which don't do large scale productions, most of which have only been in business for a fraction of the time that I have been on, but they got wined and dined and then danced on my dance floor.
And it looked real good, and they all took pictures and videos of the dance floor.
Yep, and it was crazy. It was interesting watching on social media that night, and like, of course, it was like a thorn in my side. Like, oof. It's just a constant reminder, like, you're never in the in crew. Yeah. But also, like, it was really cool to make my own in crew. Like, for sure. You know, so
for sure.
That's just the weird things that going on. And, you know, like Sierra had said, it's not even about being talented, it's about being trusted to be able to kind of pull through. There's a big learning curve in this industry.
Huge.
And you can think all you want that you've got things figured out, but you truly don't have them figured out until you've experienced them. And you don't know when you're going to experience them, because the part of our job that's the most important is troubleshooting through the unthinkable. So how do you train somebody to troubleshoot through the unthinkable? You don't.
You genuinely don't.
You just have to be kind of quick on your feet. So tell me a little bit about being a little bit fresher and newer, and some things kind of jumping up and being like, they kind of bite you. They're like, whoop. Like, what kind of experiences do you have with that?
Oh gosh, so many.
So many.
I will say right off the bat, I am very, very lucky that the environment that I grew up in, specifically with my stepmom is a very figure it out type of person. We're gonna figure it out. You just, I don't know, Sierra, figure it out. Like, that was always her mindset. So that immediately going into weddings, that was already my mindset. It was like, well, I don't really know, but I'll figure it out somehow.
Figure it out.
We'll make it happen somehow.
Someone very important to me has told me to figure it out. So I'm gonna figure this out.
I can't, like, literally so many, it's insane. The first thing that comes to my head, which is, this is disgusting, and I'm so sorry, but this was my first, like, wait, am I gonna do this moment? Like, am I feel like I'm being tested right now, and in a weird way, so, this is disgusting, I'm so sorry, please skip ahead if you're triggered by, like, vomit and stuff, but somebody threw up all over the bathroom at my venue, and just, like, I mean, it was disgusting in there, it was absolutely foul, and I remember walking in, and being like, okay, well, obviously we have to clean this up somehow. And my server was like, I'm not cleaning that up. Like, I just won't do it. Like, that's disgusting. I'm not going to do it. And I was like, oh, if I'm going to ask her to do it, like, I'm going to have to do it too. Yeah. So I'm just going to book up and
think the same thing.
Put on 17 pairs of gloves and just make it happen and get over it. But, like, if you're not a person who's like, I'm just going to get over it and I'm just going to do it and I'm just going to figure it out, like, again, that's a disgusting moment that doesn't happen often. But that was, like, that's my limit. Like, that's as far, like, that was, like, my big test of, like, just gonna do whatever it needs, whatever it takes, because there's no one else to do it. Like, we didn't have a janitor or anything. We were the janitors there. Yeah. So, like, am I just gonna do whatever it takes to make this wedding successful and make this night good, or am I gonna bow out?
Or are you gonna leave the throw up for the bride to walk into? Like, it's that you just, certain things happen where you're just like, is this my life? Yeah. But then people see you on Instagram and it's like so glamorous, and you're like, excuse me if I still smell.
No, literally.
My bad.
Literally. So that was, like, probably one of my first and my biggest, like, okay, but if you're not a person who's, like, just down to do it and down to figure it out, you'd be like, no, I'm out, actually. This ain't gonna work for me. Like, no. Next caller. So that's the main one that comes to my mind right off the bat.
There's crazy. Probably millions. There's, like, so many. I remember
little things, too.
Little things. I remember one of my first venues my first weddings not at a resort venue, in a park. And all of the rentals were delivered, and there's all the silverware and place settings, and it's just me. I don't have a team of people. Yeah. It's like just me and the Arizona heat, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm supposed to set the tables, like, I guess, I don't know. So I just start setting tables. Okay, this is a 130 person wedding. That's and big. If you don't know what it takes to set 130 place settings, let me kind of put this in context. If you're at a resort, there'll be a team of probably 12 servers for 120 guests, maybe 10?
7 to 10.
Okay, so let's say 7 to 10 servers, and it'll take 7 to 10 servers 2 hours to properly set every place setting. So put that into perspective. Yep. Now there's just me, and I'm there for hours, and I'm there because I'm checking in all of the vendors. They're all coming at different times. And I didn't have enough pull at that time to tell people when I needed them to be there. So my stretch for setup was long. Yeah. So I just start setting tables, and you're going around and around and around every table with base plate.
A million times.
And all of the, the entree fork and the salad fork and everything. You go around and around and around, and the sun is beaming on me. I'm so burnt.
You're not just, like, putting it down. Like, it's perfect. It has to be perfect. It
has to be perfect.
Yeah.
I probably did this for 5 hours, no lie. I probably did this for about 5 hours. And then the catering team comes in. And the caterer is like, where's all the place settings? Where are the crates? And I was like, I put them all away. And they're like, you put them all away? And I was like, yeah. I was like, put them away so they're out of everybody's way. And they're like, well, we need to set the tables. I was like, no, I did that. And they go over the tables and they're like, who did this? Everything's wrong. And because I was new and I set everything backwards. So I had done all of that, and then they had to redo all of it. So I wanted to kill myself at that point in time. Yeah, I was like, it's not for me. It's just not. Like, I almost passed out. It was ridiculous. I mean, but I have so many of those kind of stories where it's just like the first time dealing with, like, inclement weather. Like, everybody looks at you. Now I know that the slightest breeze that comes through, everybody turns and looks at you. Yeah. And you just go, it's fine, because this and this and this and this. I have all the satellite apps on my phone. I'm prepared. I know exactly what's going to happen, and I've been thinking about it the Monday before your wedding even hit. So I'm prepared for it. The first time that happened to me, I lost it. I was like, well, we could do this and that. And it's funny because I see that in newer planners. There's no, like, a assertion or authority in things, and when you don't have that, you lose control, and when you lose control, everybody's in disarray, and when everyone's in disarray, everything's your fault. And so it's like you learn that, but the only way that you learn that is by having those fingers pointed at you and getting cussed the fuck out on a regular basis. Not on a regular basis, but when it happens and you're just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And it like doesn't go away because you're like, did I really ruin somebody's
It'll rattle
day? It's like, it's sleepless nights for a long time. But then as you kind of get tried and true through this, you realize that, you know, things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's quite crazy.
And you learn to let it rattle you a little bit less.
Yeah, it's true. It's just that thick skin that comes through is like, it's like, okay, I messed up. Yeah, my bad. But like really, truly, I don't think, I mean, weird cases have happened to people. I've heard like where actual wedding days are like fully ruined. Lots of times it's by Mother Nature and it's not by an actual single human. But I have heard of things that have happened, you know, bad decisions that were made and things that were just really, truly ruined. But aside from those one-off things, everything is fine.
Everything's fine. That's the thing. Like, everything always works out.
Yeah,
everything will be fine. That's been my biggest, like, lesson is, like, once we get to wedding day, like, I know that we can solve any problem. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can solve any problem before that, too, but, like, I feel my most confident on wedding day because, like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we can solve
everything.
Like,
everything is fine.
When you've seen as many weddings as we have in our life, like, I mean,
it's okay.
I'll see something new, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, and people will get rattled, but you know how to console and you know how to lead and you know how to get them through it, and that's really at that point in time where like I feel like you start to feel like, okay, I've got this.
I've got this. Yeah.
Yeah. For you, what point in your career? When did that happen? When were you like, okay, I've gone through enough craziness. Like I am here. I've got this.
I think it's been interesting because it's been a very different, I've had multiple different moments based on like where I'm at in my career. I think obviously right now I'm the highest I've been in my career, and the most like in it and I would say successful that I've been in my career. Yeah. So each kind of like level has had a moment. Like when I was back in California doing weddings there, the kind of like, oh, I've got this moment was like when I realized as a banquet captain that I knew how to like lead my team and I just knew exactly what needed to happen. Like I just pulled the right amount of wines in the back. Like it just was like every little like question that was in my head like wasn't even a question anymore. It just was like, okay, this wedding's 120 people. I need 8 bottles of red wine. It just was like once I just knew things and it felt like I wasn't constantly questioning myself every day. That was great. And then when I moved to Arizona, like once I started like knowing things about my venue without having to like check and like question, like my favorite thing when I felt the most confident was like, I don't even have to ask like chef if we can do that because like, yeah, we can do that. And I'll tell you the price. Like I feel very confident in like pricing things right and whatever it may be. But so every moment it's just been like, once I kind of am like, oh, I know everything there is to know about this role specifically has been a little bit different because I don't think there's ever a time where you're going to know everything there is to know about this. So that has been an interesting like shift for me. But I think that the moment that I really was like, oh, I can do this was honestly after it was growing time after wedding. But at the end of Jenny and Ray's wedding in Mexico, that was kind of the first, like I'd finished up my weddings that fall and I was like, they all were great. Everything went fine. Like my first one, I was like, oh, I can do this, but then I'm worried about the other 3. What if those somehow go wrong? But every one of them was beautiful. They went great. Brides were very happy. And at the end of that, I just kind of was like, oh, I don't feel like I have anything to prove to myself anymore.
Yes.
Like I can do this.
I can do this.
And I'm good at it.
And people love you. And it's great. It's a good feeling. Like, okay. It doesn't take all the nerves away, but it does like, all right, I am here.
Yeah, so really just experience and just going through it. Like, I think that eventually you'll get to a point where it's like, okay, yeah, I know what I'm doing. And I might not know everything about everything. And we're always learning, but I'm always open to learning and I'm always open to figuring it out. So, yeah, just, I finally felt like this was, I got it once I just experienced 700 weddings.
Yeah, yes, exactly. For me, I feel like I really started to be super confident in my role during COVID when like the world was like in disarray.
Yeah, that was a crazy time.
And it was like, I still got this. I'm still rolling. You know, I saw a lot of businesses go out of business and that was sad. I was like, dang, you know, like these people worked so hard. I looked up to them for so long and they're out, you know, they're not there anymore. Like, even just last night, interestingly, I was going through Instagram, the people that we follow, and I was kind of cleaning up some of the things, like old accounts, you know, that just don't. And seeing like so many of those like big name wedding planners that were just out now, I'm like, dang, like that was crazy. But I knew that I was able to go through this really crazy time and still come out ahead.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, if I can do that, I can do anything. And
I agree. That was definitely the COVID moment.
That was shit.
If I can get through this, I can
do anything.
Yeah.
So throughout that, before getting to COVID, because that was probably year like 9, 10, kind of going into there was multiple times along the road that I felt like I had it figured out, but then I would evolve or reach a new level or a different type of clientele and be like, okay, I'm relearning things. Like I'm refiguring it out. And I've kind of reflected on a lot of different phases I've been in business where like starting off, nobody helped me. And so once I started figuring things out, I didn't want to help anybody. People would ask me like, oh, who do you use for such and such? And I'd be like, figure it out. Like, you know,
why don't you go ahead and make a post on your story asking for recommendations?
Yeah, because that's always really well received.
That's what you think.
Anybody have any recommendations for hair and makeup in San Diego? No, figure it out.
That's what people pay thousands.
Exactly. and so I've gone through all of those like phases, you know, where I didn't want to help anybody. And then I got to a phase where I was like, well, that's a shitty way to be. Like, because I wish somebody would have just given me a hand. And so then kind of evolving again into like, okay, I am far enough along that I don't care if you take my vendors. Like, do what you want with them, but let me tell you, this one worked well, this one didn't. Like, this is great, this isn't. And now, you know, I'm so helpful with things. I'll probably like write you out a how-to on something if you ask me, because it's insane.
I literally, you'll say like one thing, or somebody will say one thing around the office, and she's like, I can help, I have the answer right now, here you go. And I'm like,
I've been through this already.
Okay. I'm like literally staring, trying to figure out the right envelope color. This one, perfect. Like,
yes,
this girl, you need anything, ask her.
It's just kind of going through it all. So it's just feeling comfortable in different phases and being a good comfortable and being a shitty person comfortable. You know, I've gone through all the phases, and that's the experience. And I feel like that's like a big thing too. Like, so when, as a bride, if you're listening on this, like hiring your planner, it's really that experience. Yeah. Like, you want to trust those people that have really been tried and true, because they're going to know how to get through it. And coming into this industry, being humble enough to know that you've got a lot of learning to do, you know, like the newer people that come in, like ask for advice, you know, find the right person that will help you. I may have been a jerk at some times and not wanting to help people, but like there were other people that were helping. So, you know, and I think that that's like really important for sure.
I love when I get many DMs asking, how do I start? And I love those. I love those, but just make sure you got the grit.
There's not like a set answer. It's like, there's my response, but I don't know how to say this, is like, just be in the right place at the right time, really, because that's what's gonna.
I mean, force yourself into the spaces that the people that you want to work for are in. Yeah, like, I very much forced my way into Sanctuary, and now here I am. Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna work there, and then I learned that it was like a luxury industry, and I was like, and I'm gonna be in that. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. You just gotta force your way into it.
It is, and then so being in there, and then going through like the trials and tribulations, and then learning like, okay, I've got this, and then growing even further. What do you think is the secret to taking that confidence of like, yes, I believe I belong here, into like, now I'm gonna actually even grow more. Like, I'm gonna change and improve things in this industry because that's how much experience I have. Tell me what that looks like for you.
I think, again, with it just is all like confidence, like whether it's real or not, portraying confidence. And for me, like, I know that I can grow the industry because I have so much experience, but I also, like you said, like I've made efforts to make connections, to make relationships. To show people that I do know what I'm talking about, because I could sit there and say all the things that I want to say and try to better this industry, but if nobody believes me and nobody trusts me, and okay, girl, nobody cares what you're talking about. Like, cool, shut up. But like, I have made the intentional effort to make myself a trusted name in the industry and actually show people and prove to people that I know what I'm talking about. And again, it just truly is experience, but I also show people that I'm willing to learn and that I don't know everything.
Right.
And if you're not willing
being
to
vulnerable,
show,
always carry the vulnerability with you. I like to do that as
because
well.
we all know different things. Like,
Mhm.
you've experienced something that I've never experienced, and like, oh, that's an interesting take that I wouldn't have thought about.
Different life,
like,
you've seen it through.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I think that just being very confident in your knowledge, but also knowing that I could be the way that I've done things might not have worked for that person,
Mhm.
and I'm still learning, and you could teach me a lot of different things, and we can all just teach each other. And I think that that's something that I really want. I think, I'm just something controversial, but I think that the industry has a good way of acting like that's what we do, is like help each other and teach each other. But I wish that I saw actually more of it.
Not the saying it, but like actually helping.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is that different roles in this industry help differently. Like,
For
if
sure.
you're a photographer, like the photography community is linked in.
Mhm.
Like, they help each other so much, like passing weddings off to each other,
Yep.
giving advice. They have support groups. They don't have that in planners. Like,
Yeah.
planners don't help each other.
No,
at
I agree.
all.
Yeah.
So florists, I don't think florists really help each other. I don't know if bakers do.
I don't think so. And like being on the venue side, where obviously like a lot of the vendors don't need me, but you know, a lot of vendors like, I want to be on your preferred list, I want to do this. Like,
Yeah.
there was, in that role, there was a lot more like, collaboration, and like, oh, I would always recommend a certain 3 planners when I worked there, and I was like, I don't know, it's interesting to see how different that is when I'm not in that role, and I'm not in the more of a neutral role.
Yeah. No, because people are just like, oh, let me do this for you, let me do this for you, let me do this for you, because there's something for them to gain, versus like now being your peer, like another planner is never going to say like, oh, let me do this for you, let me do this for you. They're just not. Like, and I think that sucks. But I can relate to it because, as I said, I went through an asshole phase where I was just like, I'm not going to help anybody. And they came from being threatened. I felt threatened. I didn't feel confident in my own regard. And now I do. So I'm like, I'll help you with anything, because it doesn't matter what I help you with. You're not going to take any of my business. Like, and not in a cocky way, but you're just not. We're all different people. But I didn't know that at a certain point in time. I just thought like, oh, I can't tell them my secrets. Like, it's going to get taken from me then.
I know. This industry is big enough for everybody, and you can definitely find your way in. The thing is I think you also have to be very accepting of the fact that, like, we do all do the same thing, obviously to a very, like, different scales and levels, and designs are different, and processes may be different, but we do all do the same thing. And at the end of the day, to me, I think that the biggest, like, it's really just about the couple, and, like, does this work? Do we fit with this planning agency or this planning agency? Like, I just think that everything doesn't need to be so personal. Yeah. And it's more personal about the client rather than it is about, like, you and your business versus our business. You know?
That's very, very true. So let's do some rapid fire on getting into this industry. Okay. So first off, when you do get a DM from somebody and they're like, hey, how do I get started doing this? What's like the short and condensed version that you tell them?
Do research on planners and venues in your area, and be open to taking low roles, low paying roles, internships, assistants, admins. Be very open to doing that and the grunt work. And I understand that that's not feasible for everybody, but I think we need to.
That's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
Because interestingly enough, in this industry, you have to know a little bit about everything. Like, you have to know how floral thrives and dies. You have to know how it's constructed. If you need to move an arrangement and something falls apart, you got to know how to rebuild it. If you are moving a cake, you have to know how to move that cake. You have to know how that's constructed. You have to know so many things about everybody's industry. And same for, like, the florist needs to know about the baker's industry. How do you put the floral in there? How do you do this? The baker needs to know about the photographer's industry. You know, this is where they're going to photograph this better. It's like everybody needs to know a lot about everybody else's job. And the best place to do is to just start. I always tell people, like, start off doing styled shoots. Like, put it together. It's just like putting on, no, it's not just like, it's a sample of putting on an actual wedding, in the sense that you have to pull together a lot of moving pieces. You have to know visually how things are looking. You have to be aware of a lot of stuff. You have to schedule things out, and you have to humble yourself to ask for people to do things for you. But be honest about doing styled shoots. Don't pass that off as it being a wedding, because it's an unfair representation of your
For sure.
experience, but there's nothing wrong with it. I started off with styled shoots all the time, and I just needed to show people that I could do things, like, and that's really important. So
Yeah.
I always think that that's a good starting point.
I think too, like, people like go to weddings, but there are a lot of people who've never been to a wedding, who've been to just a couple weddings. Like, you genuinely don't understand how even like the day of a wedding works until you've been in it and done it. So like, not only do you have to learn everything about all these different moving pieces and all these different like aspects of a wedding, you actually have to learn like, what even does a wedding day look like? How many clients do we have that are like, I don't know, like, when do you do the first dance? Like, you have to learn all of that stuff too, if you don't know it, because you probably don't know it.
Yeah. I had a DJ tell me very early on, he was kind of an OG in the industry. He had told me, he said, I don't think anybody really quite knows their job until they've done 100 weddings. And I was like, at wedding 3, at that point, I was like, whoa, shit, I got a lot of ways to go. But he was right. It's true. 100 weddings. I mean, it really is. At 100 weddings, you know what you're doing. It takes a long time to get to 100 weddings. Long time.
It takes a long time.
What is one mindset shift that matters the most in this industry?
I think for me a big thing is it's not about you.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. This is a service job.
This is a service industry. Like,
you are here to serve your clients in whatever aspect that means.
Yeah.
This isn't about like I have to drop the cake off at this time. No, what time does the client need this dropped off at? That's what this is all about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's genuinely not about you. Like, none of this is about you, and if you're not willing to like, just do what needs to get done to make the client happy, and you're too focused on like what you've got going on, what you're doing, and whatever, it's never gonna work. It's just not about you.
It's so true. And being helpful, even like my mindset shift that I talked about, like, help people, help people in this industry, because why allow a bunch of people to make the same mistake? The brides suffer. Like, that's where
I kind of going back to it's not about you. Like, if you're not, the only person who suffers at the end of the day is the client, and this is their wedding, and I just like, that's so gross to me. So it's
just be nice, be helpful, be service focused. What is one thing you should never rush in this industry?
Never rush. I think like your role. Like, don't go up too high too fast. Don't try to take on too much too fast. Like,
that's true.
Genuinely,
you gotta go through the levels.
Burn. You gotta go through the levels. And obviously, I said at the beginning of this that I got promoted very quickly, and I did. But I got promoted very quickly, and then I became the manager, and I did take a break because I was like, oh, this was too much too fast. Like, there's so much knowledge now in my head and so much that I'm still learning that I'm like on overload. I need a minute. Like, there's a lot to learn. So like, you just gotta be able to take it slowly. Yeah,
that's really true. I say don't rush really anything. Like, don't rush your decisions. Don't rush anything. Take your time to do this, even though you still got to go quickly, so don't rush, but like move swiftly at the same time. Find that balance throughout everything you're doing in this industry. Like, for instance, if we're doing a venue search for someone, interesting. If we're doing a venue search for somebody, don't rush the venue search, but also understand that you need to get them information quickly, so again, finding that good kind of balance throughout, and you learn it. You just learn how to do it. It's not anything that you just kind of know. What's one thing that will always matter in this industry?
I think kindness.
The way you make people feel. And how you come through for people.
Yeah, I think this is a very high stress industry, whether you're the client, whether you're the vendor, regardless of what role you're taking in the industry, it is a very high stress industry, and it can be very easy, and we're all guilty of it. I've done it, you've done it, everybody has done it, of moments of not being kind and snapping and being stressed or whatever it may be, but that is never, we're all on the same team, and just be kind to each other, because it's hard out here.
Yeah, it is. I think a good kind of recap of this that I had written down is longevity beats the shortcuts.
Yes, always.
Relationships beat the hype. So if you're coming in here and you're just like, yeah, I take luxury weddings, like, no, there's no hype there. You need to grow and build with this.
Build into luxury.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
And integrity beats ego every time.
Every single time.
So in closing here, if you are early on in your journey and you want to grow and you want to be here, like you really want to be in weddings, you have to accept this isn't going to happen overnight. If you stay humble and you stay curious and you stay willing to get involved in this, you're going to get a seat in this industry. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And if this episode is like resonating with you, don't hesitate to reach out for like more questions and things, because we can always share our different experiences for that. Make sure to like, comment, and share on this. And just keep in mind that we release episodes every Tuesday. We're on Google Play, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Yes, and Spotify. So thank you very much for walking down the aisle with us, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
See y'all later.